Arsenal had the last laugh again against Chelsea in a 1-0 win at the Emirates. Welcome to the Midweek show here on Score Reward TV. We're taking a look at the winner for game week 24 and how the leaderboard is looking. All of that we shall review on the show. But for now, let's kickstart with Arsenal versus Chelsea. Again, welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much, and welcome, guys, to another Midweek show.
Yeah. It wasn't quite an action-filled game, more like what we witnessed in the first leg. What do you think of that game?
It was disappointing, to be honest. I expected more from Chelsea. In fact, I expected more from both teams because Arsenal were only leading by 1 goal.
Yeah.
Chelsea needed to win that game, but they were very, very poor. It seemed like they were very cautious. Arsenal didn't need to do much because they were already winning. They could have gotten a 0-0 and still qualify, so they didn't need to push forward. They were just passing back, forth, no creativity whatsoever. Aside one or two chances, I don't think there was anything to be impressed about from both teams, really.
Yeah, definitely. All Arsenal needed to do was to make sure that till the end of the season did not get to concede a goal and they will be in the cup final. Now, there was an incident in early in the second half. It looked like there was a foul on Madeleine. Do you consider that should have been maybe a penalty for Arsenal?
That was a tricky one. If it was given, I don't think there will be any fault if it was given, but it was a tricky one. But I think in the end, the correct decision was made. He already got the ball. He slightly raised his left leg, but I think overall it was the best decision that was given.
Yeah, I also think in a game of that magnitude, it wasn't, the defender was quite rough, but it wasn't something that should have been considered a penalty. I think so. So, Kepa Arrizabalaga had a very, he looked very confident in the middle of the sticks for Arsenal. Are you looking at him having more playing time?
Yeah, he should make do with what is available to him. Raya is a top keeper.
Raya is a top keeper, yeah, indeed.
And he wasn't even threatened that much. I think Chelsea only got a shot on target.
Two shots on target in that game, actually.
Two?
Yeah.
Okay. I only saw a real save, but I don't think he was threatened that much. But yeah, well, he was confident. I like how his personality on the post, his distributions as well were okay. So yeah, it was a good one from him, but he wasn't threatened.
Well, I mean, it's Raya. He's contending for that position against Raya. Raya have one of the most clean sheets in the league, so I think he should make do with coming from the bench or perhaps playing league games or FA Cup games. And going to the final now for Arsenal, it's either a Newcastle or Manchester City. How confident are you if Arsenal have to play either of those teams in the final? Are they going to win that cup?
Yes, I believe they have the quadruple in mind right now. The players may not come out and say it, but I think every player is now thinking, is this possible? This can be possible, and if it's possible, it is something already that will put our names in the history books. So I think every Arsenal player will be looking at that cup final as securing the first trophy to what could become a great season for Arsenal. So I think yes, any team that both Newcastle and Man City are not doing very well this season. Man City are second, but their performances have been on and off, conceding a lot of goals. So if Arsenal get to the Carabao Cup if Arsenal meet any of those teams in the final, I think they are the favourites, and I think they will be going all out to win that game. So I'm confident they will the finals. Yeah.
Well, I also rooting for Arsenal. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and looks as though this might be Arsenal's best chance of clinching that trophy. And of course, many other trophies that are still competing for. They're looking very, very, they're well positioned to at least clinch one or two trophies at the end of the season. Now, let me just mention it. There's some interesting facts when it comes to Arsenal versus Chelsea. Yeah? In the Arsenal the game that they lost against Chelsea was in August of 2021. That's very interesting. It looked more like Arsenal now owns Chelsea. How funny does that look? Yeah. So
Yeah. No, Chelsea it's just because of Abramovich. It's because of Abramovich that elevated Chelsea. Chelsea has always been owned by Arsenal. And I'm glad that they are returning back to where the place they are meant to be. below us always. So yeah, it's something that should be, just they've spent a lot of money, yet they are still struggling to gel. But I think in the future they have a lot of young players that can actually do better in the future. But for now, we own them.
Arsenal owns Chelsea, and it looks like so because Chelsea's new coach, 8 games, he only lost 2, and all of those 2 losses came from against Arsenal.
And
So,
sorry, let me mention, yeah, I'm just wondering, because I'm thinking about the approach of the coach in that game. I'm wondering the kind of tactics he used. 5 defenders, 3 midfielders, 2 strikers. You are coming to a game that you have to win. And using that kind of tactic, even playing Delap in the right wing. So you kind of wonder, okay, what's he trying to do? What's the tactics behind this? You are trying to win the game. So I think himself should kind of take accountability for how he set up as well in that game. If not, if he had offered more, started at least Cole Palmer, Esteban, those guys are threatening. Even Pedro Neto, I think they could have gotten one over Arsenal yesterday.
I think Chelsea coach was, he overthinked the situation. He really wanted to pull, a comeback against Arsenal. So he wanted to do anything possible that he can to get that win. But, things didn't quite go his his way yesterday. He'll have to wait perhaps another time to try again against Arsenal. Now, moving on from that game, there's been a lot of, headlines in the transfer news, people moving from one club to the other. Looking at all of those transfer now, which of these clubs would you say that the winners or perhaps the losers in the transfer market as close right now?
Okay, in the Premier League, I would say the biggest winners in the Premier League is Manchester City.
Indeed.
Yeah, Manchester City getting two highly rated players in January, Semenyo and Guehi, to strengthen both important areas of the
attack and defense.
Yeah. So I think they are the biggest winners. Another club that you can say they are the biggest winner, but this is not in terms of where they are in the league table, but financially as a club, is Wolves. Wolves, I would say they are already relegated, but being able to sell a player for a record transfer fee, I think it's a win for them.
It's a win,
yeah. You don't go down and also lose as well.
Yeah.
You have to. I believe that is what they were also thinking. At least getting some good money for a good player while also going down. Losers, Crystal Palace, man, they have since the start of the season. I'll just say that they have been losing. Lost their Eze, lost Guehi, just losing important player. Even if not for
almost lost Mateta.
Yeah, they almost lost Mateta. If not for his failed medicals. The good thing is that at least they have 2 strikers. They have a Larson as well. So and they also signed Johnson as well, Brennan Johnson. So I think they still have something to try to avoid relegation, because for me, I think they might be entering into that zone. So I think they can do more with what they have, but I think they are the biggest losers this transfer window.
So talking about the winners in the transfer window, City precisely. If City does not get to win a major trophy at the end of the season, looking at all the players they've signed, would it be considered very, very disappointing for them?
Definitely, to be very disappointing. City are a club that always expected to win a trophy,
Indeed,
and not
yeah.
just any trophy, the major trophies, the Premier League, the Champions League. So it will be very disappointing. They really strengthened, and 2 players that were well sought after. They got them in January, which is very, very difficult. So I think it will be disappointing if they don't go on to win a trophy.
Well, I'm sure City will be looking at least clinching the League Cup against Arsenal in the finals. If they don't get to win any other cup at all, at least they want to.
Yeah, definitely. Cups are always vital. Some people may not regard the Carabao Cup as that cup, but I think with the modernization of the league, everything seems important nowadays, no matter the size of the cup or trophy. So I think yeah, they will also be looking to win that.
Well, talking of transfers there, let's take a look at our very own Ademola Lookman. He made a transfer from Atalanta in Italy to Atletico de Madrid in Spain there. So with a fee worth 40 million euros. For a player like Lookman, do you think that transfer fees is worth it?
Definitely,
Mm.
40 million is worth it, and I will even suggest that it could have been more, but probably with the situation with in Atlanta and his contract, the remaining years in his contract, I think
Mm.
that is why it is that amount. But Lukman is a special player, can bring a lot to any club. Single-handedly won the league for the European trophy
Yeah.
for Atalanta. So I think he's a special player, and I think it's he's worth more than that. Atletico got him on a very, very good bargain.
Yeah, what a player Lookman was when he delivered that hat trick in the finals to give them that trophy. Yeah, but I'm thinking like age could also be a contributing factor for the field that they signed him because his age is no longer on his side, considering
Mm.
But well, let's also look at how Lookman is going to settle in well at Atletico Madrid. He's a very versatile player. We know that he plays from both wings and can play as a supporting striker, but Atletico de Madrid also have some good options up front. I know they wanted him, that's why they go for him. But how soon are you looking at Lukman being able to break into that Atletico de Madrid starting lineup?
I look at him entering into the starting lineup immediately.
Mm,
Maybe
okay.
he might need few games for adjustment to
Mm,
get familiar with the team, but I think he can go in there and start above any other person. Currently in those positions,
mm.
he's a special player. He can start for any club. Let me not say any, but he can start for most clubs in Europe. So I think he can go there and and start performing immediately in the starting 11.
Yeah, definitely. Lukman have all it takes to move into the Atletico team and get a starting lineup indeed. Well, aside from Atletico de Madrid, is there any other club precisely that you'd have preferred Lukman signed for?
Yeah, I wanted him to sign for us now
Mm,
some seasons ago. I think 2 seasons ago, or around January transfer window last year. I wanted him to sign for us now, but right now I think we have moved beyond him.
mm.
Although if it was a deal that was going to happen, I would have appreciated it. But I think we should be looking at more or better players, and he can move into any team in Europe. Chelsea right now don't have a good left winger better than McMahon.
That could compare.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you cannot
that's
compare Garnacho,
that's
Gittins,
what Gittins
Neto.
and
Yeah, you
Neto.
can't compare them to Lukman. So that's why I'm a bit surprised that more clubs didn't come in for him. So yeah, Lukman can go into any team, play very well and help any club that he is at deliver. And I'm sure he will do great at Atletico Madrid.
Well, aside from Lukman signing for Atletico de Madrid, I particularly wanted him to sign for a club where his chances of winning a league will be very very high. A club like Inter Milan in the Italian Serie A, because at some point they also saw him as an option, but going to Real Madrid, Atletico de Madrid is also a good option. But I would have preferred him to stay in Italy, where a league where he's used to,
Mm.
and in a club where he can have a greater chance of it. Because Atletico de Madrid, honestly speaking, how would you the chances of them winning, considering the fact of and Real Madrid and Barcelona are there to contend with them? How soon can they? Because it's had a 4-year deal. How soon can he get to win that La Liga title?
I think that's one of the reasons why Atletico signed him
Mm.
to help
To
them win a
push for the
title.
league, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's a very, very good player. He can actually help them. Given that Atletico don't sell their best players because what news on the transfer market is that they are looking to sell Alvarez.
Mm.
As long as they keep their best players, with the addition of Lukman, they can challenge. They can challenge. They've done it in the past, even with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo in those teams. They've won the league, and I think twice also.
Mm.
So I think they can challenge. Just keep your best players. With Inter Milan, yeah, there was a time Inter Milan wanted to sign him, but I'm also thinking about how Inter Milan plays and how it suits him as a player.
Mm.
Because when
Mm. That's,
when I watched Arsenal Inter Milan, I was looking at how Inter played. They came into that game with two strikers. Lautaro and Turam.
Mm.
So looking at and they play as well with wing backs. So I don't think going into a club where maybe the manager's approach to games doesn't suit your style as a footballer. So that's also a critical factor.
That could
Yeah,
also. Before closing there on the transfer and players transfer, let's also take a look at the situation in the Saudi Pro League. N'Golo Kante recently moved to Fenerbahce in Turkey. With his move now, he's one of the very formidable midfielder for that French team, and World Cup is by the corner. With his move to Fenerbahce now, which is to me a more challenging league than the Pro
Saudi.
League, Saudi Pro League. If he gets a very good performance in Turkey, would you consider him for that World Cup slot?
Definitely,
Mm.
like you said, it's a stronger league, and even while he was in Saudi, he was still getting called
Yeah,
up
he
to the
played some
French.
years
Yeah,
for France.
he was always getting called up for the national team. So Fenerbahce, the Turkey league is a very very strong league. So I think yeah, that will also improve his fitness if you would say what it can do for him. It will improve his fitness and also his readiness for the World Cup. So definitely, I think N'Golo Kante will be prepared for that.
Yeah, personally, I also think Kante would deserve a cup because he's a legend. He could be quite old, but the experience is there, so he can always
Definitely,
have
yeah,
something to
definitely,
contribute in that French team when they go to the World Cup.
definitely.
Now, if let's move on from players transfer and take a look at speculations that have been going around talking about Pep Guardiola, if or not he's going to leave at the end of the season, which looks more likely that Pep is going to step back at the end of the season. Now, there have been a few quite good names that have been considered for that position to replace Pep Guardiola, the likes of Xabi Alonso and Enzo Maresca and Cesc Fabregas, who is the current coach of Roma in the
Okay.
Italian Serie A. Now, looking at those names now, which of these guys would you think would be a very good pick to replace Pep Guardiola at City?
They are coming up with names that are not can't be compared to Pep. Pep is not even. I don't think Pep has reached where he's meant to. I think Pep still has so much to
Okay, you
offer.
think Pep should have stayed and he
Yeah,
have a lot to offer
yeah,
still?
no, not necessarily stay, but I think the way it's been treated,
Mm.
already finding a
Okay,
coach and
yeah,
all
all
that, it
those
seems like he has reached his limits, and all that.
I get that
So
point.
I think Pep should be treated better, especially by the media. He changed the game, literally changed. He did what no other coach has
No,
done.
no.
So
Pep's record is
yeah,
unmatched,
yeah.
definitely.
So I don't think for Man City, for this Man City team, probably they might need fresh ideas,
Mm.
but I think Pep is capable of bringing fresh ideas. Probably he might need um, some few months or something away, which is where the the break comes in, where he might take his time, go on a vacation, relax, think about things, think things through, and try to come up with something fresh for the City team. But right
Mm.
now, I don't think those names being thrown around is something that will kind of cause any real change in Manchester City. Xabi Alonso didn't even last in Madrid,
Mm.
and Cesc very very good in Como right now.
Still upcoming.
Yeah, still upcoming, achieving a lot with Como. Their position, the results they are getting this season. Maresca, we already know. Yeah, won the Club World Cup
Mm.
and Conference League with Chelsea, which are not really major trophies.
Mm.
So right now there are good names being thrown around, but I think Pep should still be City's coach. I think he will bring in a solution to their current situation.
Well. Yeah, you want Pep to stay, but if it comes to that point where Pep goes, among these three names I mentioned, now, who are you picking to replace Pep?
I would say I would say if I'm to recommend, I
Mm.
would say Fabregas.
Fabregas.
Yes, I would say Fabregas. I wanted Fabregas to come to us now if Ateta
Ateta
doesn't
feels.
leave. Yeah. So, but I would say Fabregas because I think his approach. When I watch Como play, Como
Mm.
Como dominates teams, big teams.
That
With
tiki
the play.
taka kind of
Yeah,
football.
yeah, yeah. They play, they create chances, they keep the ball. I believe that's prime Man City that we know under Pep. So I think he's the one that can take that his ideology with Como and replicate it in Man City and kind of continue in the legacy. But I still think if he comes, they might need to give him some time as well. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, if you ask for my opinion, I would say I would prefer Xabi Alonso. Why? Because, you know, the other guys are very good. Maresca have experience in the league, of course. He also worked under Pep at some point, but Xabi is someone that have already have that a title winning mentality. Already. He did it unbeaten at in Bundesliga,
Bundesliga.
defeating the mighty Bayern Munich. So I would say he's a guy that have more onions to put in that. Though it's not going to be easy for him to be very sincere. He needs some adjustment and all of that. But I prefer a certain Zabin Alonso because of he has already won a league title and against a very tough side like a Bayern Munich. So coming to a club like City and contending against the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, it will take time. But of course, I say him as an option that is better than any other guy in that. Fabregas is good, but he's still an
Yeah,
outcomer.
Zabi Alonso, a good shout, but you've seen what it means from going to a lower ranked league to a higher league,
Yeah, I saw the situation at
and
Madrid.
yeah, and applying that his formation, that defense, his wing back, and all those tactics. That I don't think is a City thing, except City are willing to be patient with him to try to implement that. You know, in that's what Amorim wanted to do with Man U,
Didn't
failed
work out for
woefully.
him.
Yeah, so except they are willing to wait through and allow him, gel and pass his vision to his players. Something that can also help Haaland to score better.
Mm,
Because when you look at uh, when he coached Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen,
mm.
you can see that his wing backs were the ones even getting the goals and assists.
Yes, especially
Frimpong and
Frimpong.
yeah. So you need to build a team around the striker, and I don't know if his approach might do that. So let's see. But for me, Fabregas.
Well, Fabregas it is. Well, let's just stretch it a bit. Apart from these three names now, aside of those guys, is there another guy you can pick to replace Pep?
They might want to take Ateta from Arsenal.
Ah,
That's another option. Ateta's contract ends in, I think, in a year, so they might be looking. Well, why not try to tempt him with some money and
well, Arteta is a high-profile coach
yeah, yeah,
indeed.
definitely.
But well, if I'm to consider another guy aside this or that, I mean, this mentioned three guys, I think they should go for someone like Conte. Who is
No,
Conte has a
no, come
very
on,
Conte's
no.
mentality. Conte has a very
Ah,
a
God,
strong winning
you
mentality.
want to change Man City's identity? Ah, no, no,
But
no, no, no.
Conte, if you check if you look at his CV, he goes into a league. He came to England and won the league in his first
Yeah,
season. He
yeah.
have won leagues with two different clubs in
I
Italy.
understand. I understand the winning thing, but Man City is not just a club that wants to win. There is a marketing, there's a brand image for
Yeah,
Man
but
City.
the
When
ideology.
it's just like telling Conte now to come and coach Baka. Yeah, yeah, trying to erase Baka's identity from the tiki taka to
But wait,
one.
are
You
you
know,
saying you can't say that the same and Flick have the same idea, the Barca style? Flick plays very high lines.
no,
Way
Highline
different.
is not the same. Highline is, yes, Highline is there, but he keeps the ball tiki taka. Like that's my point. Conte doesn't play that kind of football.
So Conte is never an
No, no,
option.
no. You just want to spoil Man City's image now. He will win, no, but that the Man City that we know, that have taken time to get to this point where they are identified with some certain kind of football, that will erase it, man. So no, 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 no,
Well, Conte is not an option. I think Conte
no.
would
That
have been,
Conte
you
should go to
know,
Man
why you have a very good coach at their so I'm not sure they'll
U.
be considering
But
Conte.
it's just 6 months. After 6 months, they will find another coach.
Well, let's see how team pans out. Now, moving on from the coaches and all of that, before we take a look at the leaderboard, how players did in game week 24. Looking at the Champions League knockout stage, which are these matches, teams you'll be looking out for?
Oh, the Champions League knockout stage has
Mm,
already, I think there's already an excitement
yes.
about it, starting with that Benfica Real
Real
Madrid game.
Madrid, yeah, indeed.
That one is going to be special. I'm looking forward to that game because they really broke Real Madrid hearts. Like, and I'm sure Real Madrid wanted this. Like, I mean, they wanted the opportunity. In this new format, you don't always have the chance to revenge.
Mm.
So this one
It
is
looked like a
an
revenge that came
yeah.
handy.
This is like an opportunity for Real Madrid to revenge, like exact serious revenge. But I think it's going to be exciting. Benfica have done it, and I think they will believe that they can, beat Madrid. Whether at home or away. I believe that with Mourinho there, they will have that belief that they can do it. So it's going to be an exciting one. Another one I would say is Dortmund. Dortmund versus what's their name? Dortmund versus Atalanta.
Atalanta.
Yeah, Dortmund versus Atalanta. I think that one, very two attacking teams. You expect goals.
Does Atalanta still stand a chance when they are letting Lukman go?
Of course, it's Dortmund we are talking about. Dortmund is a team that always concedes goals,
Mm.
and it's not a game where you say you need a really, really special player for you to go through. Dortmund is not a difficult team currently. They have been poor. The Dortmund we knew then is no longer the Dortmund
True,
that
true.
year. So they've just allowed Bayern dominate the league and all. So I think that game is going to be exciting. Expecting lots of goals in that game, and but I think Dortmund will still go through at the end of the
Yeah,
day. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Looks more likely.
Yeah,
Looks
yeah.
more
Then
likely.
another one as well is Monaco PSG.
When I go,
Two French sides.
I was surprised for two friends that to be
Yeah,
paired.
that's the fun part of the fun of the new format.
Mm.
So they know themselves very well. And I think both will be up for it. Monaco will be up for it. I'm kind of scared for PSG. They are looking shaky. They are not
Pierre,
looking that
yeah,
strong
Pierre
this
does not
season.
look like
Yeah,
that team
they are
anymore
not
this
looking that
season.
strong. With Donnarumma that left, that they are conceding goals.
I'm wondering how they made that mistake, to be honest.
No,
Letting Roma,
no,
Donnarumma.
it's part of football. When you don't, the opportunities are not looking good for you in a club. You look for
Mm,
another place. So I think Monaco and PSG, that game is also going to be interesting. They know themselves very well from their league, and I'm sure that they will spend time watching their games, each other's games.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I think that will also be exciting. So I think those are the three major fixtures I'm looking forward to in the
Indeed,
knockout.
very
Yeah.
interesting fixture. That would be particularly. I'm looking at that Real Madrid versus Benfica game because I see Mourinho as a very wicked because before before the last game of the Champions League night, Madrid were third on the table with 15 points. They only needed a draw at least, which I
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
see them because I would definitely 100 times pick Madrid to trash Benfica,
Benfica, yeah.
considering what they did in the Champions League. But Mourinho somehow found a way to
No,
destabilize the team and
he's the
cause.
special one
And
for a
indeed,
reason.
indeed, he's a
For a
special
reason,
one.
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now moving on from that Champions League. Okay, before I take a look at how the players perform here, I want to particularly mention you, Chiki. Where are you on the table? I'm trying to find it.
Oh, please,
let,
just leave
let,
me out.
let me
it's
find Chiki on the table. I'll
it's
tell you.
tough. It's tough. It's really, really tough right now because these guys don't even want me to do anything.
Chiki, Chiki is on number 14. You
Ah,
know.
that no, that's crazy. And I thought I got some good predictions this weekend, but I lacked in my squad selection. My
Mm,
players didn't perform at all.
mm, mm.
Disappointing.
Yeah,
But
but your
mm,
prediction, this accuracy was very impressive. You had
yeah,
a 67% prediction
yeah,
accuracy.
I know I tried in prediction, but my squad was really poor.
Mm. Let's take a look at the top five. Since Chike did not make it to the top five, after all that he said last time we were here, he promised that he was going to be in the top
Hey,
five.
problem. No,
So,
we'll try
all
again.
right. Now, taking a look at the top five for this week on the leaderboard, we have coming in at number 5. We have the Alchemist. He pulled a 67 point. He put a 67 point with 50% prediction accuracy. Then coming in at number 4 is Eric Yumbire, who put 70 points with a prediction accuracy of 60%. Then at number 3, we have Oladimeji Ogunyika. He put 72 points with a prediction accuracy of 70%. Now, Habib Olande came in at second with 85 points in total and 80% prediction accuracy. Now it looked like Hillary, should I say Hillary is cheating or something? Because
Are you,
he's
are you sure we are not going to check this thing? Oh, but this is a problem. Oh.
Hillary looked like he has hacked into this system already because
He's looking like he's running away with it now. Like,
week in, week out, as he's maintaining the number one spot. Look like no one can beat Hillary now.
make I just clap
No,
for
we
him.
need to give
There's no other option.
need to
He's
give
doing very
Hillary.
well.
Yeah,
He's doing
Hillary
very
is
well.
doing very well. Hillary put 91 points. You know, he did better
Wow.
than what he did last week.
Wow.
Well, put 91
Well,
points, and his prediction, his accuracy also went up to 70%, considering far better than what he did
Wow.
last week. So
Wow.
there you have it for this week, game week 24 on the leaderboard. Yes, if you think you have what it takes to challenge the likes of Hillary, Akemis, and of course my very noble Chike here, who is finding it difficult to make it to the top five, all you need to do is download the Score Review app, make your player selection, and of course you'll be ready for game week 25, where you perhaps make it to the top five as in the likes of Oladimeji and Hillary. Chike, I want to be very, very honest with you. I'm not impressed that you've not been able to make it to the top five. Try and
No, this is just this. It's just game week 2024. In the overall season, I think I'm in top five. No, but I don't know. I need to pick better. My players are not performing. When I pick players based on their form, it seems they just drop in the next game. So I think I need to do better with my player selection.
Chike is looking at 20,
But
maybe even the number
I
one
need to
spot.
know what this guy is doing. I'm suspecting there should be something. I need to know what he's doing every week. That's crazy. That's serious
Hillary might
form.
just be very, 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 very good. So I'm challenging you out there. If you think you have what it takes, get a Score Review app and challenge Hillary for that number. Particularly Hillary, I'm not even considering, not even bothered about the other guys. Hillary in person has maintained that number one spot and has refused to step down. So please come into the system and challenge Hillary for that number one spot. So, ladies and gents, that's about the size of the show for today. Please do well to subscribe for our channel. Please, 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 I'm begging, subscribe so you can always see our content and see you on our next episode.
Thank you very much, guys. Please do subscribe. Help us grow the channel and
Mm.
reach more people. So thank you very much and see you next episode.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.